Hi, everyone. It's Bill and Wendy with Carolina Capital Management.
Toodles.
Welcome to another show. What are we calling this thing anyway? Market Update. Right?
That sounds like a good name because that's really what it is, right?
All right. Excellent. So we have a great list of guest panelists today. Let me start at the top of the horn there. We have Mike Schlotnick with Tempo Funding, Randy Lawrence of Prosperity Capital Partners. We have Fuquan Bayo of NNG Capital. I got it right this time, Fuquan. Sean Casterline of, is it Aegis or Aegis Wealth Management? Sean? All right, I'll make sure it's corrected when I go to you as soon as you figure out how to unmute you.
Aegis Wealth. Aegis Wealth Management, right? Okay.
All right. So I'm going to get this train wreck started because we have two new guests this time, Randy and Sean. Give a couple of minutes to talk about what they do and what their business focus is. Randy, you want to get us started?
Yeah, for sure, man. Thank you so much for having me on and being a part of it. Great to be here. Our company, Prosperity Capital Partners, we're based out of the Tampa, Florida area. We are focused on multifamily apartment complexes, and we own and operate complexes in the southeast and the southwest of the U.S. So in the Panhandle area of Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, and then also in the southwest in Arizona. So our focus, we've been in the real estate space since 2003 and have folks that have been, invested with us in those areas over the last 17 years. And we focus really on the C plus, B minus, true kind of workforce type housing apartment complexes. Your typical workers are between $35,000 to $55,000 a year income earners, and just true, blue collar, low end, white collar workforce housing, providing clean quality, affordable housing for them. And then also for our investors, providing a secure, tax efficient investment opportunity for them as well. So that's really our focus, and we continue to refine and improve operations, especially, given the focus that we're dealing with now, really super dialed in on operations. And I'm sure we'll, dive into some of that here as we progress with some of the topics and questions.
Absolutely.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. Sean, say hello. Okay. Sean's still having technical difficulties, but Sean is in the senior living space. Some of it is active, some of it is assisted, and as soon as we get him back up here and operating, we'll get a little bit more in depth on what he does.
I really am glad that, Randy, that you were talking about housing that you're doing, the affordable market, the market that you're in, because you're really kind of in the middle of, gosh, I would say ground zero as the people that are losing their jobs. How are things going for you? What are you doing to battle this?
For sure. Yeah.
Folks?
Well, so on all the complexes that we had purchased, we had pre-focused on underwriting in an economic slowdown and a recession. So increasing a higher occupancy or economic vacancy factor. But again, you couldn't, of course, plan for this type of pandemic. So once we saw, boom, the world's fixing to stop in a month, right there, right about March 15th. That's where, again, I was talking to you beforehand. We were out in Tahoe for a month. I flew home like probably the 19th, had already been spending some, 8 and 10 hour days on the phone out there with our team. And so we, in that 3 weeks leading up to it, really kind of dialed in operations, coached our senior leaders, on-site managers, developed a real aggressive outreach to our residents, providing them with, up to the date information on, state unemployment. Like, for example, Georgia was at 2 weeks, and then, it bumped to 5, then 6. All the local resources plus what the state and then federal benefits were going to be, having all of our team kind of focused on that. And then also communicating with our residents, unlike maybe some owners where, hey, they were a little bit scared to communicate about COVID and rent collection, that we communicated saying, hey, look, here's what's going on. Here's the changes we've made because of this. But also rent is still necessity to be paid.
Right.
Because we still have to operate this complex. And so, if you don't honor the terms of your lease, there will be late fees, attorney's fees. And when the court is open, because it will be delayed, the regular process will unfold. And so it was crafted in a good manner, but in a manner like, hey, we're here to work with you. And so we put in place payment plans for residents, working with them, and then a lot of coaching, intense coaching, really on our managers, moving from just a property manager to like a manager and a life coach, right? Because they know how to work with the people. And so what we've seen thus far, the first 2 Fridays, looking at the calendar, are important in this C plus B minus apartments. And right now, National Multi-Housing Council collections nationwide by the 5th of the month was at 70%. We're tracking above that, and we're at about 90+% compared to month over month from February and March.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
great.
Yeah, we're doing well. It's been a lot of work, and also the need to create and connect with tenants to, one, provide them those resources, make a real plan, like somebody that their hours were cut in half. They're going to get a stimulus check at the end of the month for, say, $1,700 because it's a single parent with a kid.
Right.
They're not going to give us 1,000 of that, but they're willing to give us 400. You know what I mean?
Sure.
We've seen good results thus far, but it definitely has been intense in terms of our focus.
Right. In our business with lending, we've collected everything except for, I think, maybe 3 loans out of, close to 100. So we're pretty thrilled about that. But, that's this month. We'll see what's going on in April, right?
Yeah. Well, we're a little bit different. All of our stuff, for the most part, is fix and flip or fix to hold. And there's nothing that happened in March that keeps them from making their March payment. It's going into, April that may be the issue.
Yeah.
And for the most part, all of our municipalities are still remaining open, so they can still get permits and inspections, and they're not having any issues getting supplies. So none of that is really an issue right now. We'll see how it goes a little bit further into the month.